So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mezco Toyz 112 Collective Justice League Aquaman. So let's get into it right away and take a quick look at this giant box. So we do get the basic style box when it comes to the Mezco 112 line. So we do get the slipcover here, and on the front of it, on the top does say Aquaman, on the center says Justice League, on the bottom says 112 Collective, post-plate display, and DC. And then on the bottom of the actual box here, we do get the warning blub and bust of nobody cares about. Then here's the top of the box, says 112 Collective, post-plate display. Then the one side of the slipcover, we do get a really cool Aquaman symbol there. Same thing on the other side. And then the back of it does show a bunch of really cool promo images of poses you can get the figure into, along with all of the accessories. So once you remove the slipcover here, we do get a very large window displaying the figure and the accessories, looking pretty damn cool there. Then on the sides of the actual box is 112 Collective, and then the back we do get the very large Mezco Toyz logo. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure over to take a closer look at this character people always made fun of because he talks to fish, but actually turns out to be a really badass character. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and Mezco destroyed it with the detail on this Aquaman. This is definitely the best part about this figure, the paint and sculpt. Now the face sculpt here does look like Momoa. It's not perfect, but like say looking at him on a profile view, it looks exactly like him, or looking at him like that. Looking at it straight on, it doesn't look exactly like him, but different points of view of the face, it does look exactly like Momoa. So they could have did a little better of a job with the face sculpt, but I mean, it's pretty good for them just sculpting it, you know what I mean? So nice paint around the beard, on the eyebrows, eyes both painted looking in the same direction. The beard has some nice sculpt to it. We even do get that line in his eyebrow, which he does have, so that is definitely accurate. And then the hair here, we get some very nice sculpt all throughout it. It is mainly brown, and then they added like the blondish type color, like streaks of it throughout it, and it turned out really nice. And it is a very soft, rubbery type plastic, but it does hinder a lot of his neck articulation, especially looking up, which we'll go over during the articulation. Now we do get a little bit of armor sculpted on the lower part of his neck, which looks pretty cool. And then the torso armor just looks fantastic on this figure. Beautiful paint and sculpt all throughout it. There is one big issue though with the armor on the torso. It's just one piece, so it hinders that point of articulation, which is really bad. But I mean, the armor just looks so damn sick. Just nice tiny sculpt detail. The paintwork looks great on it. We got a nice wash all throughout the gold. I like the way the green looks mixed in with that like goldish gold type color. And then we do get some brown mixed in it as well. We do get the Aquaman symbol around the belt there, and he is wearing like a cut piece, but it is like a softer rubbery type plastic, so it really won't get in the way of like the leg articulation. And then we get some nice sculpt running down the side of the torso right there, continuing to the back, and once again the armor just looks sick. And it's the one thing I find really cool about this figure, it's kind of hard to tell where the cloth clothing is compared to the armor. It blends in so perfectly. You can't really tell unless you look really close at it. Like you could see where the cloth is around the upper thighs right there. You can see it around the elbows. You may even see it on the back of the figure, like on the back of the arms right there, the lower portion of the figure. I mean, the cloth clothing looks really cool though. I like the design that they put on with it. But like I said, I really dig the way it blends in perfectly with his armor. And then the shoulder armor here just looks so damn sick. Beautiful sculpt and paint. Same with the armor around the bicep. I really dig the way that looks. Then we do get the gauntlets, and we do get like these fin pieces right below his elbows, and they are very sharp, so be careful of that when you swap out the hands. But I love the way the gauntlets look as well. Like I said, this is definitely the best aspect about this figure, the detail. Now for the lower legs here, you can see the cloth clothing around the upper thighs there, and then the thigh armor just turned out really cool. I like the way these pieces look. They're supposed to be green, I guess, but they put like a very heavy brown wash in them on both sides, and I really dig the way that looks. Get some armor around the knees right there, which look pretty cool. You can see the cloth clothing around the knees. And then we do get the lower legs here, which do have some very nice sculpt and paint to them as well. And then for the feet there, I love the way the boots look. Just beautiful sculpt on that. We get a very nice wash all throughout it as well. I just really dig the way that looks though. Very cool looking. And the bottom, we do get some nice sculpt and paintwork along with some peg holes. But overall, like I said, the detail is definitely the high point to this figure, and I feel like that's where Mezco really excelled the most when it comes to this Aquaman. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we get a decent amount of stuff included with this Aquaman. My biggest disappointing thing is we only get the one face here. We don't get any alternate heads or faces with this figure, and to me that's just a very disappointing thing, especially with it being 2018 and this is a very high quality figure company. And I mean, we pay a decent amount of money for these figures. I think they could have included an alternate head or face or a couple of them, you know what I mean? So that does bring the figure down a little bit for me. But what we do get included with this figure, we do get a Mezco bag, of course, which we get with every figure, so cool that we get that. Then we do also get a Mezco stand, which is something we always get with a Mezco figure, which is always a huge plus. It just says Justice League on there. We do have the peg in case you want to peg the figure on there, or you can make the stand out of it. You just take the bottom of the stand, pop it through the bottom of the peg, it'll pop out, and then you just pop the stand in. And it does have the basic stand articulation, so we do get that stuff. And then we also get the mother box that the Atlanteans had, and Mezco did an excellent job with the paint and sculpt detail all throughout this. Just really nice paint work and very nice tiny sculpt all throughout it. It does have a little bit of weight to it. You can get him to grip it with both hands, but you're going to have to use sticky tack. He can hold it with the one hand. You just have to balance it out right, and he can hold on to it. So we do get the cool looking mother box. Then we do get my favorite accessory, which is the trident. And I don't think this one's the trident because it has the 5 pieces on the top. The trident has 3. I forgot what this one is called. Momoa did say it in an interview, but I can't remember what it was called. But we do get some beautiful sculpt all throughout it. We do get a nice wash throughout it as well. These pieces are sharp, so be careful of that. We have some beautiful sculpt going on right there. You can see the wash going all throughout the handle, and then on the end we get some very nice sculpt detail and that wash. Once again, he does grip onto it perfectly with his gripping hand. So we do get the awesome trident, and then we finally get 8 interchangeable hands. So starting on the right here, we do get a pair of fists, of course, which come on the figure out of the packaging, and all the hands are very simple to swap out, which it always usually is when it comes to the Mezco 112 line. So we do get a pair of those, and we do get a pair of gripping hands, and like I said before, he does grip onto the trident perfectly with these. So we do get a set of these. Then we do get a pair of open type hands, and then finally we do get a pair of swimming or karate chop type hands, and all the hands have some great sculpt and paint all throughout them. But anyway, that is all the accessories included with the guy who talks to fish. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? Now for the height of Momoa's Aquaman, to the very top of his head, it looks like he's a little bit over 6.5 inches tall. And then here he is compared to the SH Figure Arts Justice League Long Neck Superman, the Mafex Justice League Superman, the SH Figure Arts Justice League Wonder Woman, and the Mafex Justice League Flash. And I think he scales pretty well with all these figures, and out of both Supermans, I think Mafex scales a little bit better with this Aquaman. And then here he is compared to the Mafex Justice League Batman, the Tactical Suit Batman, the Mezco 112 DX Joker, and the Mezco 112 Deathstroke. And I feel like this Momoa Aquaman scales really well with the Mafex Affleck Batmans. And then here he is compared to the SH Figure Arts, the Dark Knight Batman, the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, the Mafex 2.0 Joker, and the NECA Original Movie TMNT Raphael. And then here he is compared to the Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero, the SH Figure Arts Sage Mode Naruto, the Figma Deadpool, and the Marvel Legends Cable. And then here he is compared to the SH Figure Arts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku and the Mezco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, and this is a big issue a lot of people have with the figure, which we'll go over in a second. So the neck here, we do have 2 points of articulation. So we have the lower neck and the upper neck. So the upper neck joint, you can only get him to look up that much, gets hindered by the hair, of course. Does look down a tiny bit with the upper neck. Then the pivot only pivots slightly, does get hindered, I guess, a little bit by the hair. And then, of course, it does swivel. The lower neck joint goes forward and back a tiny bit. So with both joints, he really doesn't look down too much, and both joints, you really can't get him to look up at all. And this is a big issue a lot of people have with the figure, because then if you can't get him to look up, you can't really put him in swimming type poses. So that is one issue some people do have with the figure there with the articulation. We do get a little bit of pivot at the lower neck, and then it does swivel as well. So really not the best movement at the neck, but that is mainly because of the hair, and I feel like most Momoa Aquaman figures will have that issue. Now, we do get 2 points of articulation, one at the torso here and then one at the waist, but you really can't use them at all because of the armor here. I don't know why they didn't cut the armor right under the chest so we could use the upper torso articulation. The waist, you could slightly move a little bit, but really not much at all. As you can see, it's pretty much useless, the waist movement there, so you really can't even move that. And the torso, you can't move at all because of the armor. That is the biggest issue people do have with the figure, including myself. I think that was a very dumb move by Mezco, and it's an articulated figure. It's not a statue, man. I know you guys are going for the sculpt, but come on. You got to be able to articulate these figures with the points of articulation you put on these figures. So that is definitely a big no-no right there. Now the shoulders here, we do have a nice circular motion out of the arm right there, so very nice movement with that. And then the arms do go out to the sides a little less than 90 degrees, which isn't that bad. The shoulder armor does get in the way a little bit. They do pretty much go all the way up. I wouldn't push them any further than that. Then we do get the bicep swivel right there. We do have double jointed elbows that bend in a little more than 90 degrees, so decent movement with the elbows. Then we do have a ball hinge on the wrist, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. Now for the legs here, you can get Momoa, you can get him to kick forward almost 90 degrees. The armor is getting in the way of the cloth, but if you swivel the thigh a little bit, you could probably get it up 90 degrees, as you can see right there. So some hindered movement because of the armor. Then the legs really don't go to the back at all, and Momoa cannot Jean-Claude Van Damme because once again the armor does get in the way, but they do at least go out a little more than 45 degrees, which is pretty good. We do get the upper thigh swivel. We do have double jointed knees that bend back a little more than 90 degrees, and for the ankles, they do swivel. They really don't hinge up too much, hinge down a little bit better, as you can see. And then we do get a decent pivot for a Mezco. Really not the best, but it's okay. And we don't get toe hinges because we don't get those on the Mezco figures. But overall, some points of the articulation are pretty good, but then the other points are completely hindered and useless because of the way Mezco sculpted the figure, which is pretty damn disappointing and does limit your posing options and display options because of that hindered articulation. And you really can't get them into too many crazy poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Justice League Aquaman. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure between a 1 through 10, I'd have to give it an even 8. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I did get mine from Agelessgeeks, so you can head over to Agelessgeeks.com, or I would recommend going through their Instagram or Facebook group. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, oh well, I guess you didn't like it, but thanks for watching. I will see you later. So we do get the slip cover here, and on the front of it, on the then here is the top of the box. This 112 Collective Pose Pay. Here's the top of the box. This is 112 Collective Pose Plate Display. Then the side of the slip cover, we do get the really blue and DC. No. What the hell was that? What? It's like I was drunk. The Mafex Justice League Superman, the Mafex, oh damn it, that's SH Figure Arts, damn. We do get the upper thighs, so we do get the mother box there. What the heck? Then we do get a pair of gripping hands. Like I said, he grips onto the trident perfectly with these. So I'm talking too fast and keep messing up, damn it. We do get a pair of gripping hands, and like I said before, you... Damn it, I did it again! Talking too fast for myself to keep up with. The bottom says 112 collective.